Hi, everyone. Welcome, welcome. I just put a link in the chat, so go ahead and click that link, sign in, and we're going to kind of collaborate together because I am not a master at communication either. So I will need your help just as much as you might need my help. So we're going to kind of figure this out together. So I would just, again, love for you to join this collaborative document. And we're going to be talking about communication and how we're able to really effectively communicate to our staff, to our colleagues, instead of being like, come on, did you not read my last email? Because I remember, and I still have that issue today, where I sent a nice lengthy email, took me, 15, 20 minutes to write, maybe even took it to ChatGPT to give me some feedback on the email. And then I still have people asking the email that is right there in front of them. So I wonder if you're feeling the same way. We're going to start on page number 2. So right here, I want you to think about which one resonates with you. Are you this person where you're like, I think all these thoughts, but then this is what I say, right? I think all of this, but I really just say this much. Or maybe you're the other type where you're like, okay, my words came out just fine, but you didn't process them correctly, right? So I want you to grab the shape tool. Actually, let's do something fun. Let's go to add media. Take a picture of yourself if you feel comfortable. If you don't want to, just use the sticker tool and take a picture and let me know. I want to see where you're at when it comes to communication. So again, add media, either take a camera or come and use the stickers. You can pick any of these stickers if you want to kind of just communicate what type of person, which one resonates more with you. I'm going to throw the link in the chat again, just in case you were having issues trying to get to the breakout room and you're like, where is that link at? I love how we have like a mix of people. And I don't know if these two right here, like, are you a little bit of both? Is that what you're kind of going with? Like, I'm a little bit of this, but I'm also a little bit of that. Or sometimes I feel like I'm this person at work, but then when I'm with my husband, I'm like, you're not processing what I'm saying, right? So maybe it's situational as well. Okay, so I'm just going to give you just a few more moments to make your vote. Okay, so now we're going to talk about kind of the steps to communication. And so when it comes to that communication and the steps to it, we really need to understand who is our audience, who is the focus of our information that we're trying to deliver it. And this is where I've failed a lot of times, where I am like, oh my goodness. Who is my audience, right? And what do I need to tell these people? Are they teachers? Are they parents? Because how we communicate to people might really matter on how we deliver that information. Structure. We also need to find our communication style. So we're going to talk about how do we find that style on how we want to communicate with our staff. We're going to highlight what are the benefits and the value of communicating. We need to be transparent where we build that trust, credibility, and rapport, and then misunderstandings, right? I had a colleague call me today and she was like, it's just a misunderstanding, right? And how do we deal with it when it is that misunderstanding? How do we ask questions to clarify? So what I want you to do is on page number 4, what problems come up when we communicate? What kind of issues are they when you're trying to communicate with others? What issues, what problems have you faced when you're dealing with communication? So I'll admit my fears or my failures first, right? And so one of the problems that I had recently is I didn't really ask detailed questions, I would say. And so when I was trying to be like, hey, can I do this task? They were like, yes. And then when I did it, they're like, well, Stephanie, you can't do it that way. And so I didn't ask detailed questions. Or honestly, it probably this was a conversation that happened in Slack. Let's be real. So this was a question, like a conversation in Slack through text. It probably should have been a Google Meet meeting. Okay, like this was a communication error where it probably shouldn't have been over text. It should have probably been through Google Meet, having that conversation. So I could have asked those clarifying questions. And Brittany, no worry about your camera. Yeah, no worries. Just use the sticker tool. Thank you, Nikki. Yes, I suck at spelling, so I appreciate you. Yeah, emails being too lengthy or not having enough time or interest to read. I completely agree with this. Some people love lengthy emails because they need to know all the details. Other people's are like, this is too long, I'm not even going to read it. But then if you send multiple little emails, then they're like, this is too many emails. So then you're like, what do you want, people? You know? Or you have a meeting and they're like, this could have been an email. Well, you're not going to read my email, right? Does anyone ever like feel like that, right? Not reading, yes. Being understood, unable to fully transparent or honest in a conversation. Oh my gosh. I totally agree with this one. So if you see something that you agree with, grab a Cami sticker. So add media again, go to those stickers, put a little heart or something, and let this person know that like you're not alone, right? Like you are not alone. I completely agree. Being unable to be fully transparent. If I don't trust you, sometimes I'm scared to share information or to even share my thoughts because I'm worried that they're going to get knocked down, right? And so I feel that so much. Oh my gosh. Having different levels of background info. Yeah. Maybe you have a first year teacher and a 10-year teacher that you're trying to coach, and they've got different background information from the district and trauma maybe as well. So true. It's just, oh my gosh, you guys are like reading my head, and I just don't feel so alone right now. And I really appreciated it. Oh, you started bulleting your emails. Okay, I would love to know if that really does help. Um, Bulleting those kind of informations. Okay, so the first thing is our audience, right? We need to understand who is our audience. So when we're thinking about our users, I try to put an image in my head. Okay, I try to imagine a user that is about to take place in this information that I'm about to share with them. Then I think about what are the goals that I need to set for this conversation. Typically, I just wing it. And winging it sometimes for those crucial conversations just doesn't work, right? I don't have a plan. I don't have it kind of building out. And so I really need to picture who is it that I'm kind of sharing this information with? What are the goals? What are those pain points? What maybe is their bio, those needs, their personality? I'm a huge into personality tests. If you're interested in more information, just send me an email and I have tons of resources for you. But again, just knowing who the user is can help. And just winging it again sometimes is not a great thing in our failure or in our process. The next thing is structured and highlighted. So now you got to figure out your communication style. And I was listening to this podcast, and they had the interviewee was like challenging the interviewer. And what they did is they said, okay, I'm going to list, and they listed like 10 things off of a shopping list. The person had to recall back what was on that list. They can only remember 4 things off that list. Okay. When we're communicating to our teachers, it's better to do it in a story. Okay, so it's better. They're going to connect a lot better if you're presenting or you're sharing information in a story. When they did that same 10 item list with a story, they remembered, well, I think it was like 7 or 8 items off that list. Okay, again, I'm a bullet point type of person. I'm like, boom, 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 get it done. I love my to-do list, but I have to pause and remember that sometimes our brains are more wired to connect by stories. It helps us connect those pieces together from the beginning, middle, and the end. Okay, so again, our brains aren't really listed to make sure that we have those lists of information. So think about, how can I share this as a story to really help my teachers? So let's think about advertisement because advertisement communicates really well, right? So when we're thinking about advertisement, there's some templates here, but these are just some ways that we can provide information to people. The biggest one that they use in advertising is problem solution benefit. And so what that means is they just say, here's the problem, okay? Classroom management, here is your problem in your classroom, classroom management. Here are some solutions, here are the benefits. So again, instead of winging that conversation, you're really outlining it in those three kind of steps to help them know, hey, here's the problem, the solution, the benefits. There's also the 4 I's. And again, there's templates to kind of help you. And then as you become more natural, you shouldn't need all these resources. You should just be able to naturally, hopefully do it. I am not going to go over them because I know I'm limited on time, but if you have questions about any of these, let me know. But again, that problem, solution, benefit can really help you in outlining that information. And then transparent, we want to build trust, credibility, and rapport. And so we need to get to know our audience. We need to know what interests them. What are they excited about? So when I think about small talk, be interested in the person, not interesting. Have them do more of the talking. Have them talk more about what they're learning about. Share your results with others, either if it's good or bad. I know someone shared that sometimes that's scary. It is scary. And then be emotional. When we are emotional, when we share our failures, we're able to connect a lot easier with others. And then educate. We want to make sure that they know what benefits it's going to offer when it comes to that new idea. And now misunderstandings. This happens a lot, right? We have these misunderstandings that happen a lot of the times. And so there are 5 stages on conflict, or 5, sorry, conflict management strategies. And so I am going to place a resource on the side for you. That's just an article about these different styles. And I would love for you to come in, again, grab the ad media. And I am the avoiding type. And let me know what type of conflict management you are. And I'll just like really quickly describe them, but here is a more detailed resource if you're interested in this. But basically, the accommodating one, you are just trying to maybe focus on the needs of others. You're kind of putting down your needs a lot of the time. The avoider, you just avoid what's kind of being taken at place with that conflict. Maybe you try to compromise, you try to find that middle ground. Maybe you are a collaborator where you try to find that solution that everyone is going to be happy with. Or maybe you're that competing one where you're like, no, my way is the right way, right? You're very firm. So I'd love to know which management style you are, and it helps to know who you are and how you deal with conflict. And again, sometimes it is situational, right? Like this battle, I'm not going to fight today, but maybe tomorrow I might. And so knowing that, knowing when you're going to fight, those different things can be really helpful, or even pointing it out in others. Hey, they're acting, very competitive right now. So I need to know, how am I going to respond to that in that moment? So again, this is the article if you're interested in learning more, but again, it can just kind of help you kind of think, okay, what kind of person am I? And how do I need to act in this moment? Is this the hill I'm going to die on? And so again, here's a quick description of each 5 of those if you're interested in, again, kind of just learning more and when you might want to use this style. So maybe for accommodating, when I am wrong, I do want to accommodate to somebody else, right? If I know I'm wrong, I want to make sure I do accommodate to somebody else. If I want to avoid, maybe it's when the issue is meaningless. It doesn't matter to me, so I'm going to just avoid it. But maybe I want to compromise when I really want to make sure that we need a solution, that's really important more than like the solution itself. That relationship is more important than the solution. Collaborating when a relationship is really important, right? And then competing is maybe when you have to stand up for yourself, your rights or your morals, okay? So again, this can just kind of help you with that graphic. And so I just want you to kind of think, how do we get better? We practice this. We have to practice communication. It's through repetition, reflection, and feedback. So when we repeat, reflect, and use feedback, and sometimes it's practicing with another colleague, then we get better. So for the remainder of the time, it's like 14 seconds. let's practice. How would you communicate to a coworker who's late to meetings? Or maybe you want to start a coaching cycle for station rotation with a teacher. Maybe a teacher is asking for feedback. How would you communicate these different things? Okay, I know we ran out of time, but just kind of think about it. And thank you guys for joining me today. I had fun talking about communication.
Two last things to take care of. Oh yeah,